Did you say they're in counseling?
Yes, they said they're in counseling. Hello guys. Today's email topic is we are in counseling, but it doesn't seem to help. My wife was a military veteran for 15 years and was divorced twice. She then spent 20 years unattached. I met her and we got married after a short courtship. Several of my friends said that she and I weren't suited. I disagreed, but it seems they were right. We argue all the time, almost daily. I tried a timeout method, but she just follows me and continues chirping in my ears. We are in counseling, but it doesn't seem to help. I am at my wit's end. I am at my wit's end, and how do I make this relationship work?
What you think?
So the wife is a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's been a veteran, military veteran for 15 years.
Right.
She's been married twice.
Divorced twice?
Yeah, married and divorced twice.
So it's third marriage?
This is a third marriage. She then spent 20 years unattached. Okay, so seems like it seems like she's coming into the relationship with baggages from her past marriages.
Right.
And she's not giving 100 in her third marriage. And oftentimes when people, when you just jump from one relationship to another without taking time to, he said that she was unattached for 20 years. I don't understand what it meant.
Right.
Is it after the 20 years that they met each other that, she was unattached with nobody after 2 divorces, and then she started all over again? That's pretty confusing to me. But it seems like a pattern from the last marriages.
Right.
Now, from the guy's perspective, he's saying that he tried the timeout method, give her some space or time, but that didn't seem to work. She keeps following him around and nagging in his ears and stuff like that.
Oh.
So
what do you think? What should he do?
What should he do? If he really wants to make this work, they really have to be on the same page, because if they're not on the same page, I don't think it's gonna work. He's frustrated. It seems like he wants out already. He didn't mention that he wants out, but it's sounding like he's fed up. He gave up on counseling already.
Right.
And most of the time, counseling at the last minute kind of aggravates stuff. It doesn't really. It doesn't. It's like a battle. You say your own, I say my own. Yeah, that's how you feel. Okay, I'm coming for you. That kind of, that kind of thing. So, I feel like he needs to. If he really wants it to work,
right,
he would have to he said he tried the timeout method. Maybe he didn't try it hard enough. Maybe he didn't. He needs to be more patient.
Timeout, as in
timeout. If you give someone a timeout, make them feel like you're giving them a timeout, and they know that you're giving them a timeout. That's only gonna escalate.
It's the radio silence. I forgot the term they use in the industry.
Right.
Radio silence. What they call in the industry? Radio silence. They call it. It's basically just a time to check out. I forgot what
check out, zone out and stuff like that. But then the other person is feeling ignored. It just makes it more.
I'll remember before the end of this.
More crazy.
We're actually not supposed to forget that term. It's a big term in the marriage coaching.
I know the term, but I don't know the.
Right.
I don't know the name right now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Matter of fact, I don't think we made it a chapter in the book. I don't think so. We probably had a chapter on. Let's see. Without attraction. So we did have silence is golden. Let's see, 45. I think we're addressing it in silence is golden. And yes, silence can help sometimes. Completely lost. What they call it? I forgot now. 30 days, some. That some people say 30 days. Some people say. Let's see what can. Okay, I think it was from me to. And all right. So there's not. Oh, no contact. It's a no contact period. All right. So some people call it silence. Some people call it radio silence. Some people call it no contact. But anyway, so what's your advice for this guy? What's your ultimate advice?
Well, I don't think right now if they're in counseling.
Did you say they're in counseling?
Yes, he said they're in counseling, but he said it doesn't seem to help.
See that,
like he's already giving up on that.
All right. I guess we should get through it together. Let's see. So my wife was a military veteran for 15 years and was divorced twice. She then spent 20 years unattached. I guess that means she wasn't with anybody.
For 20 years.
So she was in the military for 15 years, divorced twice, and then 20 years nobody. Okay. All right. And that, by the way, can train people to just have their own life. And
right.
They can't. If you're really gonna come to the table as a weak man, it's not gonna work. Right. So basically, if she's not gonna have the space that she had, remember as an adult she had 20 years unattached. If we're reading the meaning right, she's not gonna want people in that space. So that could cause trouble, of course, as well too, especially if you are the traditionally, conventionally attached type of spouse, where you are from the school of thought that your spouse should not complain about space.
Right.
All right. I met her and we got married after a short courtship. So it's a short courtship. He's admitting it's a short courtship. There's no magic number to how long your courtship should be. There's no magic number, in my opinion. There are successful marriages that actually got married
within 6 months.
A month. I've heard of stories of a month, 2 months before, even 3 months. So that's not. In spite of that story, it's not advisable because people are people. You should get to know each other. If everything else were being equal. So. If everything else were being equal, but if you have a situation where it was ordained by God and you're so convinced and in fact you're gonna die if you don't get married within the first month, then sure. But on a regular day,
but you're still gonna go through your battles.
Regardless,
regardless, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You might survive together, but yes, you will go through.
As a matter of fact, we're not here to tell you you're not gonna go through battles. We're just helping you navigate through battles or obstacles a lot better. That's basically what we try to do here. We're not gonna give you magic formula that you won't have.
There's no magic to it.
But we can give you some tools, starting with Get My Marriage Back book, to help you navigate that successfully. Because marriage and the ups and downs of marriage is just simply just part of life.
Yeah.
So anyway, so several of my friends said that she and I weren't suited. Okay, so from saying that, it tells me that you have too many third-party opinions in your situation. That's not going to help. That's more destructive than often.
Right.
More often than none. Right. If you can't use your own crystal clear mind on how you feel to determine what you're doing, and you have to involve personal friends and family specifically, not professionals, not a coach or anything like that, but personal friends and family will normally be biased in one direction or the other. If they're biased towards a side, it's evil. If they're biased towards your side, it's just as evil. It doesn't help, So, and I detected that a long time ago because I was actually in a position where I had people in my support, and I detected that this is not helpful. Like this is, if there's any type of bias in people you're talking to, it will destroy your marriage. Okay, so that's what this tells me more than anything. It doesn't tell me anything because your friends told you not to marry her or it wasn't suited. Didn't tell me anything other than that's probably one of your reasons why you're struggling. And if you have a wife who detects that, she's gonna show all the symptoms that she doesn't like that. She's gonna show all that symptoms in so many ways that you'll be confused. You'll feel like, what did they say? Counseling is not working, right? But you never really get to the bottom, because basically she's probably affected by the third party injections and stuff. But that's one thing. Again, was that like the third problem already?
Right.
Just based off of what you're typing, okay? And it's not exactly what you're saying, but being able to read between that. And I disagreed, right? So they said they weren't suited, but he disagreed with them. Obviously, because she married her, right? Right? But it seems they were right. Right? This is, again, when people are advising you for or against your spouse, it doesn't help, because if a little bit of an obstacle comes in your way,
you're gonna think, but they told me so. Yeah.
I should have listened, or they were right, or they were wrong, or either way it doesn't help. Any type of bias doesn't help. But it seems they were right. We argue all the time, almost daily. What do you say to that, babe?
You argue all the time because he said we argue all the time.
All the time.
Because he chose to argue.
Yeah. Right.
If you can take yourself out of that argument, no one can argue by themselves.
Just the argument by itself. Never mind what the topic of the argument is. Just the argument all by itself will kill your marriage. Okay? Yep. I know it feels good in the moment.
Yep. It's a high.
I know it's a high.
You want to win.
I get it. She's your best friend probably. And
you want to see the point.
You have friendly debates. Yeah. But arguments will kill your relationships, especially in marriage. Okay? So if you argue all the time, what's the solution to that? Stop arguing. It takes two to argue. If one person stops, it stops.
It stops.
Okay? Yep. And I don't mean stop and then say they told me not to argue. That won't work either. Okay? That's basically you're still in the argument.
You're still arguing.
You have to say that.
Yes.
I mean, like, you stop and listen to what she has to say. Like, without any agenda to have a reply. Like, she's saying something, but you're getting defensive, and that creates arguments, right? And you're arguing every day. Just stop for a second and listen to what she has to say, and give yourself a 1 week ultimatum. Like, okay, I will say something back in 1 week. I guarantee you by the third day you will feel no need to say anything back.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's over. You forgot about it. Yeah. And she will get tired of it, because obviously it takes two to argue, right? So if you're going to stop arguing, if it's a trend that you always argue, to stop arguing all of a sudden, you got to be careful with that, because you can detect that, and that can become another issue. And if you're not strong enough yet, how do you get strong? Read these 10 to 15 times. Okay? If you're not strong enough yet, that's going to take time. If you're not strong, you're going to get pulled back into it. You're going to get defensive. And so how do you stop arguing? Stop. It's easier said than done, but that's why you got to build yourself. And if you stop arguing, over time, it's a trend. She's going to detect that and try to pull you back into it. She will try to manipulate you back into it. She will try to blackmail you back into argument with her. And you got to be just strong enough to not buy into it. Okay? I'm looking at time right now. All right, so I tried the timeout method, which is basically a no contact or radio silence. And if you're using the word try on no contact, it won't work. Point blank period. The idea of no contact or radio silence is not so you can try it. It's to create a whole lifestyle out of it. The reason why you're shutting down when your marriage shuts down is to build yourself back up. If you're not yet built, that's when you say, I tried it. If you actually did it, you want it to become a lifestyle, not a lifestyle of shutting down on your spouse. No. I'm saying a lifestyle of not engaging in unhealthy conversations, argument, and whatever it is that's making her. I'm talking about building a lifestyle of that and learning how to listen to her. See, at the end of the day, if you notice all of this, right? My hand's a little cold, right?
It is.
If you notice all of this, you will notice that she's pointing fingers, but those fingers coming like right back.
Right.
And that's something everybody should learn. Anytime you feel like pointing fingers, chances are about 4 of them is pointing back at you. Yeah. And for someone like us, you can give yourself away. We could tell here all the things you're doing wrong is written right in that email.
Right.
Right there. So I tried the timeout method. Try is wrong. You're supposed to do no contact, so you can take the time to read this book 10 to 15 times, build yourself back up, so God can have the opportunity to work on her in that period of time. Okay, and it's supposed to be indefinite. There's no timeout on that. There's no 30 days. There's no ultimatum on that. Because that becomes a desperate solution. And basically, trying to time out on her is being manipulative, and manipulation.
And she can detect doesn't work. This is someone that is probably,
If you type this, she probably detected it. She knew you would be manipulative, and that's why it didn't work. Right. We could give you probably about 10 different reasons from just that one little statement, one forward statement. I tried the timeout method. We could give you about 10 reasons why it didn't work right there. Okay, but she just follows me and continues chirping in my ear. Well, how long is she gonna do that for? And what caused that? How did you get to that point in time where she's chirping in your ear? I'm not saying it's all your fault, by the way.
Nope.
I'm just saying you played a part.
That's right.
Don't come and type over here like you didn't play a part in that. You played a part in that, and we need to know what that detail is,
right,
in order to give you a solid. We're in counseling, but it doesn't seem to help. You said it right. If you're in counseling when somebody already shut down, it usually won't work.
No.
Counseling is good for couples that are in great place. Therapy, counseling,
yes,
right? Us doing this video is our form of. It's a major form of our therapy, right? And we're in a good place. So if we're not in a good place, could we do this video? We couldn't. We couldn't do this video, right? So you couldn't do a proper successful counseling either if somebody is shut down. So that's probably a good reason right there why counseling won't work. What will work right now is coaching yourself personally. You could start with this book 10 to 15 times. Read it. Okay, it's free. You coach yourself how to deal with other human beings. There's nothing abnormal from everything you said so far that doesn't happen in every marriage. The way you're responding to it, including what you've written in this email so far, are basically a great point as to what you're going through. But it doesn't seem to help. I am at my wit ends how to make this relationship work. Oh, how do you make the relationship work? I guess you gotta coach yourself. You have to build yourself. You got to focus on yourself right now. And that timeout is not to be given to her, it's for yourself.
Right.
Give yourself a timeout, okay? And use that to build yourself. And I guess it's going to be like the 58,000 times I'm going to say it. Everything you need is in this book on everything you're doing wrong right now, okay? And from everything you're saying, the 15 years information is not relevant. She's just a normal girl like any other woman, and she's probably asking for something that you haven't taken the time to listen because you admitted to arguing daily with this woman, right? Yes. And if you're arguing daily with her, every time you go to counseling you have to rehash everything. You're just wasting money on counseling, to be honest with you. You're rehashing all these issues because you've spent every day arguing everything in between your last counseling and now. And that's probably why you are struggling. That's what I have for you on this episode. Share this video, like this video. What's your advice for this gentleman? Can you give your advice below this video? We'll appreciate your opinion on this particular email. And don't forget, download this book. It's free. GetMyMarriageBack.com. That's where you want to go to download it. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. Anything else you want to add?
Well, you already said it now. But I feel like with this guy, work on himself. Like you said, listen to your spouse. Genuinely ask her what she wants. Because I feel like every woman, when a woman is like that, they want your attention. There's something lacking there. If you can take the time to listen without feeling attacked, like taking your own feelings out of the situation,
for 1 week,
you can get her back to where you guys started again. Because most women, if she's still arguing with you and talking in your ears, she wants you back. There's something missing there.
If she's still chirping, she cares about something.
You're lucky she's chirping in your ears. If she stopped chirping, you gotta worry about that.
Then you have something to worry about.
All I can say is there's still.
But if you continue this way, it's a matter of time. You'll be over.
But if you can do these things, like if you can take the time time to get out of your feelings, build yourself, try to talk to your wife, listen to her, there's hope for the relationship.
Absolutely.
There's really hope. So.
There's all types of hope. Because she's still chopping, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully you've been educated, enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.